I really hope Solar Tang comes back. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 7? Yes, episode 7 of Jentry Chau versus the Underworld. Um, my mind works in mysterious ways. Sometimes I forget what episode we're on. So yeah, last time we had the Texas State Fair. We had Gentry kind of chasing and kind of fighting Solar Tang um, to try and get answers. And it ended with Gugu seemingly about to finally, open up and be honest with Gentry. Though I'm very wary of that because, sorry for the update noise. I'm very wary of that because Gugu has done pretty much nothing but lie this entire time. She has been like, really like losing any ability to trust her by the way she keeps hiding information and completely lying to Gentry. It's like it's one thing to like lie about how her parents died or whatever in order to protect her. Like I get that. You don't want her to get involved in all of this stuff, but then you also try to get her involved in all of this stuff by mastering her powers and everything and trying to use her powers without her and stuff. It's so fucked up what Gugu's been doing. And I've been saying that she could be redeemed, and I'm all for a redemption arc if it's done right. But she keeps losing trust, and it's like you really have to work to redeem yourself here. Because from my perspective, at least, Gugu is honestly the least trustworthy person here. The fact that Chang, the main villain of this series, has been more honest with Gentry is insane to me. The fact that Chang has been more open and more truthful and actually told Gentry the truth about her parents and stuff, while Gugu has been doing nothing but lying, that's crazy, right? But I also kind of dig when a main villain is, very open and honest. I like it when villains aren't like necessarily liars or anything, that they'll tell you the truth of the matter. But they're still bad people. They're still like, bad guys. And Chang clearly is. Like, again, his motivations on trying to, like, I guess, like, help his daughter, rescue his daughter, bring his daughter back or something like that, whatever it was. Um, they're not bad motivations, but the way he's going about it is bad, obviously. But it's still the fact that it's still better than Gugu's motivations and everything. The entire "I'm doing it to protect you" argument is like there's a reason that trope isn't used too much anymore. It's because it's stupid. It's because it's not a good argument. It's just not a valid like statement to make anymore because people see the just underlying like wrongness in that. It reeks of this idea of I know what's best for you, which is never true. It's just it's gross, if anything. So it's like I'm not even hating the fact that they're doing it here, even though it's like not done as much anymore, because it still is done at points. Um, I'm just hoping that they don't do it like by the book, that they add new shit to it. I don't want it to be just like, oh, I was just doing it to protect you. I think it would actually be more interesting if she said something like I was doing it to protect myself. That would be more interesting. It would not exactly help Gugu's case, but it would be more interesting. Like, what if she was like threatened to not say anything about it? That would be infinitely more interesting than just having it be like, I was trying to protect you kind of thing. But again, I guess we're going to get some info on that this time. Michael has been learning more about his powers and is seemingly coming to the conclusion that he's going to use them in order to, prevent these foresights that he's getting. Which is a good way to use that. And yeah, the idea can kind of be brought up like, oh, but people who have these kind of powers can oftentimes end up causing these issues that they're seeing by trying to stop them, or even causing other issues by trying to stop them. And it's like, yeah, that is true. And that might even happen. I could absolutely see it happening with him. But he should still try to do good. He should still try to help the people who are being, victimized in his visions. Like, that's still the right thing to do. And it's absolutely just what Michael would do based on what we know about him so far. So yeah, I think he's heading down the right path in that regard. Also, fun fact, I'm going to meet Michael's voice actor this weekend at eShowCon, AJ Beckles. He's also Okaroon in Dan to Dan and many other voice roles. So yeah, I'm going to get to meet him this weekend. That's just a little fun fact for you there. We also have Kit, who finally came clean to Jentry about being a painted skin demon, which also ironically makes him more honest to Jentry than Gugu has been. But she was still hurt by the fact that he was lying to her, and even though he made it very clear that he's not a bad guy and he just wants to be human and wants to have a soul and everything, she still was scared of him. And that's fair. It's completely fair. To find out that someone you loved, that someone you had a crush on, was a demon, the very creatures that, let's be honest, has been after you this entire time, it's like, yeah, that would be scary. And mind you, there's a little bit of hypocrisy there, too, because she is kind of best friends with a demon. Like, you can't forget what Ed is here. He's a Jiangshi, which is, like, basically a form of demon in this world. Jiangshi, I don't think, are typically demons. I think they're more typically ghosts, but either way. The fact of the matter is that it is a little hypocritical for her to trust Ed so wholeheartedly and not trust Kit here. But you got to remember, she's also a teenager. Teenagers can be hypocrites. I mean, adults can be hypocrites. Anyone can be a hypocrite. It matters to where this goes later, and what she chooses to do later. And I think she will come around. But the problem is that Kit was hurt by this. He was hurt by her reaction because she was the only person who ever treated him like a person. So this might actually, affect him, and he might actually, start working for Chang for real now, feeling that his dream is now impossible. Which I could very much believe will happen. But first, we do have to find out what Gugu has been hiding, everything she's been hiding. I think she said something about taking her to see her parents, so, their spirits, I guess? I guess we'll see. Unless they are actually alive. That would be insane. It's definitely possible, but it would be insane to just suddenly find that out. I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we'll just find out and see if Gugu can be even a little bit trusted again. But let's get into this and see what this episode has in store for us. Hold up just a second there. Before you click that link down in the description below to go to today's reaction, I just wanted to take this moment real quick to remind you of all the awesome content we have on the channel. Between Monday and Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions, with 2 on Wednesday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday. I do pre-record them during the week, but upload them on the weekend. And don't forget about all the awesome gaming content over on the Princess of Gaming channel. Every single day of the week, we have some awesome Let's Plays for you. A bunch of different things to check out, and more coming in the future. And don't forget to click that subscribe button or like the video if you really enjoy the content I'm putting out. There will be more to come in the future. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get this going. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So this is definitely the mid-season finale, basically. There's not an exact mid-season because of the number of episodes, but 7, it's like out of 13. It's close enough, really. And this one answers a lot of questions, but it also proves one very important thing. And that is that without a shadow of a doubt, Gugu can't be trusted. It's obvious that Chang is still the main villain, but Gugu I would consider to be the secondary main villain. After this revelation, it's like, again, it's possible for her to have a redemption arc. But at this point, it's like this cements her as a villain. And again, her goal, her intent might have been good. We don't actually know why she was like so insistent on them not trading away the robe and everything. We don't know all the details behind that. But what we do know is that she was the one who took the powers out of the robe and put them into Jentry. And she did so, by the way, with a shit-eating grin on her face, while almost like braggingly saying, "I'm not taking them out of her." Like, obviously the entire thing started because she didn't want them to, trade away the robe and everything, and they were doing it obviously not for great reasons. I think most of the backstory that was told through the fake parents was true. I think most of that was probably accurate. Her parents were obviously black market dealers. They were trading away things and they wanted out. And so they made the deal with Chang. He was going to set them up, give them, what they needed to give a good life for Jentry to get her out of this situation. And they made the deal for the robe. The divergence point in the story versus what really happened is the how the powers got transferred. Because in the story, it was Gugu was distracted when they wrapped Jentry in the robe. The powers transferred then, and Chang killed them because they couldn't fulfill their end of the deal. Which that part also might still be true, but the difference here is that the powers were transferred by Gugu, not just when the robe was wrapped around Jentry. In fact, the robe wasn't even wrapped around Jentry. The distraction didn't last long. Gugu ended up getting up there and started to have a fight with them. They fought over it. And although it seemed like they were winning, she managed to, transfer the powers. And that's what caused the problem. Again, they could have been killed by Chang after this all happened. That is possibly still true. But the thing is, it's like, this was basically the third strike for Gugu. Like, she has lied too many times now, and this was her last chance. I was saying, going into this, it's like, she is supposedly coming clean, and this is her time to truly prove herself. And at first, I'm watching this, I'm thinking that is what is happening. Because we see the parents and we think that it's real. Honestly, I had no reason to believe otherwise. Though I did notice something was off with the mysterious person we saw there, Iris. And especially with Gugu's reaction, like, what are you doing here? And so when Jentry ended up going back to try and free her parents, which was a stupid idea in the first place, um, it ended up revealing that, it was these shape-shifting cats and not actually her parents the entire time. And that there's a lot that was lied about. We find out this was all set up by Gugu in order to once again lie to Jentry, in order to get her to use her powers to close the portal. Jentry is basically being used as a tool by Gugu. I'm not saying that she doesn't, like, that Gugu doesn't care for her at all. I don't think that's, like, true. I think she does. But she clearly sees Jentry more as a tool than as her grandniece. Or great niece or whatever. She just... She sees her as more of a tool, and it's not okay. And at this point, the lies being used and everything, it's like this is exactly what she was angry at Kit about. She was angry that he was using her. She didn't even care if he was working for Chang or not. It wasn't about that. No one likes being used. So, yeah, it's perfectly reasonable, her reactions to both Kit and now what her reaction to Gugu will be after this. Honestly, I would not blame Jentry if she just completely shut Gugu out and even tried to exorcise her or something. I think she would be in the right to do that at this point. And again, like I said, Gugu possibly will still go through a redemption arc. It's very possible. But honestly, I almost don't want that to happen. And hear me out. I think it's valuable to show to the viewers of this, no matter what age they are, that sometimes the people who you think care about you and the people who you care about can sometimes just be bad people. That they use you for their own gain, for their own reasons, and that they're just not good. And I think it's important to showcase that because it's something that a lot of people need to learn to understand. There's too many people in our world who just keep giving people second chances because they're family or because they've shown love to them or stuff like that. When it's like, you need to have limits for your own safety, your own mental health, and just for, the well-being of yourself and everyone around you. Like, I'm a very forgiving person. I have a very hard time holding a grudge. Or even staying angry at someone, just generally speaking. But there's a point where you, again, have to have limits. Because without those limits, it's extremely self-destructive to keep allowing these people to be in your life. And this is a situation where it's like, again, Gugu was given multiple more chances. And this was the big one. Like, she had already lost Jentry's trust so excessively. And so she's given this chance to prove everything and to finally be truthful and open up. And she pulls this shit? It's like, I'm sorry, but that's kind of the last straw there. You can't just do that and expect forgiveness. Like, you just can't do that. I'm just at the point where it's not even just that I as a viewer can't trust Gugu anymore. It's just I don't like her. And again, I don't think you're supposed to. I think she's supposed to be seen as a bad guy here. Because it's like this is way too important, way too heavy, and way too like intense of a lie. It goes beyond just lying. Again, she set up an entire false scenario for this. It's kind of fucked up. It's really fucked up. And so, yeah, it's just Gugu is beyond the point of just being forgiven at this time. And maybe she will redeem herself, but until and unless that happens, I can't see her as anything other than a villain. Like, not just, an antagonist, or not just a negative force in the series, a villain. Like, that's how far this has gone at this point. I'm just kind of done with, like, giving her the benefit of the doubt here. And honestly, I really hope this is the breaking point for Jentry, too. Because it should be. For Jentry to give her any more chances after this, it would feel forced and unbelievable. Sorry for the dog, mail person or delivery person. I kind of wish this would happen not when I'm in the middle of a reaction. But yeah, she'll shut up in a second. It's just, I don't think you can forgive her after this. At least not unless or until she redeems herself in some way. Especially with now, like, the aunt. I assume the aunt. Being turned into, like, stone, coral, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. It's like, yeah, I mean, Jentry didn't really know her well or anything, but still. There's obviously a lot more to this story, to what happened with her parents, than obviously we know. And that's the point, because, Jentry was lied to and everything, so I'm very curious as to what's going to happen with that going forward. But this is definitely the point where we basically need to just say, fuck Gugu. Like, just absolutely. Like, fuck her. Just be done with her at this point, Jentry. Again, if she redeems herself in the future, cool. I'll accept that if it's well done. But I can only judge based on what I've seen so far. Keep that in mind. And no spoilers, obviously. Do not spoil anything. But I can only judge on what I've seen so far. And from what I've seen so far, she's a villain. She's terrible. Like, she is absolutely a bad person. It's just, there's no getting around it at this point. So, we'll see how this continues to go, obviously. And kind of go from there. But I definitely think that the second half of this season is about to get really insane. Like, I feel like the first half of this had some of that, like, high school love triangle stuff, and while the second half of the season is going to be like, oh no, we're about to get into the heavier shit. That's what I'm thinking, and I'm excited for that. That's definitely what I want to see more of. So let's just end this here, see where we go next time, and yeah, hopefully it just continues to be as good as it has been. This is a fantastic series so far. That being said, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. Once again, no spoilers. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.